There will always be people in your life who judge you. No matter what you do, no matter how hard you try, no matter how pure your intentions are, someone will always have something to say. They will question your choices, doubt your abilities, and sometimes even criticize you without fully understanding your journey. At first, this can feel discouraging. It can make you second-guess yourself. You may start wondering if you are on the right path or if you should change your direction just to meet other people's expectations. But one of the most important lessons you will ever learn is this: you cannot build your life based on other people's opinions. People judge based on what they see on the surface. They don't see your struggles. They don't see your sacrifices. They don't see the late nights, the failures, and the moments where you had to push yourself just to keep going. They see a small part of your life and create a complete story in their minds. And the truth is, that story is often wrong. Some people judge because they don't understand you. Some judge because they are insecure. Some judge because they are not doing anything themselves. And sometimes people judge simply because it is easier than trying to improve their own lives. If you allow those opinions to control you, you will lose focus on your own goals. You will start making decisions based on fear instead of purpose. You will hesitate, slow down, or even stop moving forward just to avoid criticism. But growth does not happen in comfort. Every person who has ever achieved something meaningful has been judged at some point in their life. They have been doubted. They have been criticized. They have been misunderstood. The difference is they didn't stop. They kept working. They stayed focused. They refused to let other people's opinions define their future. When others judge you, it is often a reflection of their mindset, not your potential. Someone who has never tried to build something will not understand the effort it takes. Someone who is afraid to take risks will criticize those who do. Someone who lacks discipline may not respect your hard work. That is why you cannot expect everyone to understand your journey. Your responsibility is not to turn yourself to everyone. Your responsibility is to stay committed to your path. Imagine how much progress you could make if you stopped worrying about what people think and focused entirely on your goals. Imagine the level of growth you could achieve if every ounce of energy spent on overthinking was redirected into hard work. That is where real change begins. There will be moments when criticism feels personal. There will be times when words hurt. But those moments can either break you or build you. If you choose to use them as fuel, they can push you to work harder than ever before. Instead of proving people wrong with words, prove them wrong with results. Let your progress speak. Let your discipline speak. Let your success speak. Because in the end, results silence opinions. People may talk at the beginning. They may doubt you when you are starting out. But when they start seeing your consistency, your growth, and your achievements, their perspective begins to change. And even if it won't matter anymore, because by that time you will be so focused on your journey that their opinions will no longer have power over you. So when others judge you, don't stop, don't slow down, don't lose confidence. Keep working hard, because your future is built by your actions, not their opinions. As you continue moving forward in life, you begin to notice that judgment does not stop. It only changes form. In the beginning, people may judge your ideas, your dreams, or your ambitions. They may say you are aiming too high, that you are unrealistic, or that what you are trying to do is not possible. But as you continue working and making progress, the nature of that judgment often shifts. Some people will start questioning how you are doing it. Some will doubt whether your success is real. Some may even feel uncomfortable watching you grow. This is because your progress challenges their perception of what is possible. Someone sees you working hard and improving your life, it forces them to reflect on their own choices. And not everyone is ready to face that reflection. Instead of being inspired, some people choose to criticize. That is why judgment is not always about you. Sometimes it is about how your growth makes others feel about themselves. If you do not understand this, you may take every comment personally. You may start adjusting your behavior to avoid criticism. You may hold back your potential just to stay within the comfort zone of others. But the moment you start shrinking yourself to fit into someone else's expectations, you begin to lose sight of your purpose. Growth requires discomfort. It requires stepping outside of what is familiar, even if it means being misunderstood. There will be times when people close to you question your decisions. Friends, family, or colleagues may not always understand why you are pushing yourself so hard or why you are choosing a different path. They may tell you to slow down. They may suggest safer options. They may even discourage you without realizing it. And while their intentions may not always be negative, their perspective is still limited to their own experiences. You cannot expect someone who has never walked your path to fully understand your vision. That is why you must learn to trust yourself, trust your goals, trust your effort, trust the process you are committed to. Because if you rely on external approval to keep going, your progress will always be uncertain. There will always be mixed opinions. Some people will support you, some will doubt you. Some will ignore you completely. But your journey cannot depend on who believes in you. It must depend on how strongly you believe in yourself. Another important lesson is that judgment often appears strongest at the beginning of your journey. When you are just starting, people are quick to form opinions because they do not see results yet. They only see effort without outcome. And in a world that often focuses on results, effort alone is not always respected. But what they fail to understand is that every result begins with effort. Every achievement begins with a period where nothing looks impressive from the outside. Those quiet moments where you are learning, practicing, and improving may not attract attention, but they are building the foundation for future success. If you allow judgment to stop you during this stage, you may never reach the point where your results speak for themselves. That is why consistency is so important. When you keep working, even when people doubt you, you create momentum. And over time, that momentum leads to visible progress. And once progress becomes visible, opinions begin to change. People who once doubted you may start to respect you. People who criticized you may become curious. People who ignored you may begin to notice you. But by that time, something inside you will have changed. You will no longer be working for their approval. You will be working because you are committed to your own growth. And that is where real strength comes from. Another thing to understand is that you do not need to respond to every judgment. Not every opinion deserves your attention. Sometimes the strongest response is silence. Not because you have nothing to say, but because you are too focused on your work to be distracted. Instead of arguing, you invest your time into improving. Instead of explaining, you put in more effort. Instead of reacting, you keep moving forward. This level of discipline separates those who succeed from those who get stuck. Because every moment you spend reacting to judgment is a moment taken away from your progress. But every moment you invest in your work brings you closer to your goals. So when others judge you, remember this: they are only seeing a small part of your journey. They do not know your full story. They do not understand your vision. And they do not determine your future. Your future is shaped by your actions, your consistency, and your ability to keep going even when others doubt you. So keep working, stay focused, and let your results speak louder than their opinions. As you keep moving forward, despite the noise, despite the opinions, and despite the constant judgment, something begins to change within you. You start to develop a level of mental strength that most people never reach. You begin to understand that judgment is not something you can control, but your response to it is entirely in your hands. At first, criticism might have slowed you down. It may have made you hesitate or doubt your decisions. But as time passes, you start to realize that those opinions only have power if you give them attention. And that realization changes everything. You begin to focus less on what people are saying and more on what you are doing. Because in reality, the people who are constantly judging you are rarely the ones building something meaningful in their own lives. They are often observers, not participants. They comment from the sidelines while you are the one in the arena, putting in the work. And there is a huge difference between the two. The person who is working, failing, learning, and improving understands the process. They understand that progress takes time. They respect effort because they know what it costs. But the person who is only watching does not see that. They only see moments, not the journey behind those moments. That is why their judgment is often incomplete and inaccurate. When you truly understand this, you stop taking criticism personally. You begin to see it for what it is, an opinion based on limited perspective. And instead of reacting emotionally, you stay focused on your path. Another important shift happens when you stop seeking validation. In the beginning, many people want recognition for their effort. They want others to see their hard work and appreciate it. But relying on external validation is risky, because not everyone will notice your effort. Not everyone will understand your progress, and not everyone will support your journey. If your motivation depends on being recognized, it will rise and fall based on other people's reactions. But when your motivation comes from within, it becomes stable. You work because you have a goal. You stay consistent because you are committed. You keep going because you believe in your vision. This kind of internal drive is what allows you to keep moving forward even when no one is watching. And that is where real progress happens. There will be long periods where your work goes unnoticed. No applause, no recognition, no validation, just effort. Those are the moments that define your future. Because most people give up during those silent phases. They stop because they feel like their effort is not being seen. They lose motivation because they are not getting immediate results. But the ones who succeed are the ones who continue anyway. They understand that success is built in those quiet moments. They trust the process, even when it feels slow. They stay consistent, even when it feels repetitive. And over time, that consistency begins to create results. Those results may not come overnight, but when they do, they are powerful, because they are built on discipline, patience, and resilience. Another thing you begin to realize is that judgment never truly disappears. Even when you achieve success, there will still be people who have opinions about what you are doing. Some may say you got lucky. Some may question your methods. Some may try to downplay your achievements. But by that stage, those opinions no longer affect you the same way. Because you know the truth, you know how hard you worked, you know the sacrifices you made, you know the obstacles you overcame, and that knowledge gives you confidence. It reminds you that your journey is real, regardless of what anyone else says. At this point, your focus becomes stronger than ever. You are no longer trying to prove anything to anyone. You are simply committed to becoming better. Better than yesterday. Better than last year. Better than the version of yourself that once doubted whether you could make it. And that is the only comparison that truly matters. Because life is not about being better than someone else. It is about becoming the best version of yourself. So when others judge you, let them. Let them talk. Let them doubt. Let them misunderstand. While they are doing that, you keep working. Because every step you take forward, every hour you invest, and every effort you make is bringing you closer to your goals. And one day, your results will speak so loudly that their opinions will no longer matter.